Pisces, coming out as yourself. Powerful. Feels like you're really harnessing the energy that's currently here. Feels very fearless. It's like you know what you want and you're willing to make the sacrifices that you need to be able to receive that. Putting yourself first, facing fears. It feels like you could have been in a dark place for some time. Maybe still navigating through dark waters at this time, especially with the current energy. But there's a dream, something you've been creating for yourself. And it's possible at this time to make some dream come true. It feels like you're going to be celebrating in the near future. But it feels like it's been a messy journey to get to this point. It's feeling like that 8 of Cups energy, an emotional roller coaster. A lot of fears, a lot of deep subconscious fears that you've needed to face, that you've needed to bring awareness to. I'm hearing I've always been committed. It's like you're always committed and very loyal to whatever it is that you're doing, whoever you're around. It feels like if you're in friendships, it's like that ride or die kind of energy, whether it comes to business, friendships, family, relationships, romantically. It's like you're very committed. When you're in something, you're all in. I feel like this has led to you being taken advantage of in some way. It's like you were giving more than you were receiving in a certain situation, or sacrificing yourself emotionally in order to keep someone else afloat, in order to make somebody else happy. This could have happened so many times, like a repeating cycle where you're continuously being drained, working hard to create something, to gain something, and then losing something consistently, that being in that place of lack, fighting to gain something, to be drained again. And I feel like this wasn't a case of what you were doing. This is because of the energy that you were surrounding yourself with, or certain projections being put onto you by others. It's taught you to have that same level of loyalty and commitment to yourself, to your dreams, to what it is you're creating. The Prince of Pentacles is the guardian, a serious, responsible young man who understands the rhythms of the earth and the animals. He strives to honour and protect all in his domain. His love of nature and the outdoors often carries him far from the confines of castle walls, into the verdant forests and foothills at the edge of the kingdom. His skill in the hunt and his knowledge of plant life assure his family is well fed upon his return. Patient, persistent at times, even stubborn in his approach, this prince sees to the physical and mundane aspects of daily life with humour and a lusty spirit. His steadfast and trustworthy nature will inspire you to strive for your own goals with a similar energy and to concentrate on the details of the task at hand. This is how you're coming through. It feels like you are happy to sacrifice yourself emotionally. Maybe it was you that was bringing in something, providing something, that if it was a case of someone needed more, you'd just work harder. If somebody wasn't satisfied, you'd show more love. But it was never a case of you not giving enough. It was a case of that you were giving to the wrong energy in something. And it's like committing to yourself in that same way is actually what's helping your dreams propel forward. Why it is that you are so prosperous, or about to be very prosperous. There could be some There could be some dissatisfaction at present, but it's like you're being guided to shift your perspective on this. It feels like a loss. Maybe you are reflecting on how much you invested into past situations and how there was no return on that investment. And it's a case of accepting that, releasing that, not expecting some kind of payback or some kind of debt to be repaid by certain individuals. Know that you will be catered to, that you will be looked after, you'll be reimbursed by the universe in a way you didn't expect. It's not about having to, not creating justice or like forcing some kind of justice for yourself. It's like letting karma run its course, letting things be what it is, like letting them be what they are. Shifting your perspective so you can lay foundations. Energy that's being channeled into dwelling on the past or holding some kind of resentment is energy that could be going into what it is you want to create for yourself. And I feel like the opportunity to do that is here. There's also this thing about actually being honest with yourself about being dissatisfied. It's like by being aware, by not being in denial about the things that are causing dissatisfaction, it's actually going to help you move forward, to face some truth. As difficult as it is, it may feel more comfortable to stay in some kind of illusion because the truth hurts. But it's like by facing that now, it's going to help you to not prolong that pain. You're coming out of loss in the near future, healing from something. It's moving from a place of lack to a place of abundance. And I feel like this is an internal shift that you've been making. You see yourself as the strength card right now. It's like you know what it's taken for you to be in this position, to sacrifice certain things. You're very aware of the sacrifices you've made throughout your journey, what you do again, what you wouldn't. It's taken a lot of strength for you to face yourself. But it's like you'll never settle again. Now you've faced certain truths. You've seen what parts you played in certain situations. Maybe it's like you was entertaining a certain energy exchange when you thought it was actually... It's like shifting from that place of victim consciousness to awareness. It's like having love for yourself, being kind to yourself, forgiving yourself, but also being aware of the ways that held you back. Certain programming, could be like subconscious programming, limiting beliefs, maybe generational patterns. What it was that made you stay in certain situations or settle or accept less than. I feel like that's not the case anymore. Justice in your favour. Situations that are happening, events that you're going to be experiencing, it's going to prove to you that there's been a shift in your reality, that you've ended some kind of karmic cycle. Your hope was to be successful, to be confident, to be able to show up as yourself authentically, to have some kind of business, to create something that you're passionate about. This is something you've been co-creating. The outcome is the Empress. It's like you've been guided to embody this Empress energy. Feels like you've been tuning into source, co-creating something, facing certain parts of yourself that maybe you used to run from, but it's left you in a very powerful position, the position that you hoped for. Celebrate yourself at this time. It's like realize how much work you've put in. Appreciate yourself. You may not be where you want to be right now, but it's like chasing the future takes away from the present. It's like reflect on how far you've come, the path that you've walked, the battles that you've won, the things you've actually survived and the things you've overcome. It's like you've learned to believe in magic again, believe in your own light. I don't feel like anything will be able to hold you back again. You're exactly where you need to be, although it may not feel like it. It's like know that everything's happening in your favour. A certain cycle needed to be closed out. This past situation definitely feels like Lovers. Somebody that kept you in a state of fear. It's like you've stood your ground, you've moved forward. It's like you're not going to be keeping yourself in a place of anxiety by entertaining this anymore. Whatever this was, I feel like it put you in a place of distress. Feels like manipulation. It could be like narcissistic abuse, I'm not sure. Like, it just feels like something that had you tied down. I feel like you fought hard to stand in your truth, to step away from this. You've created this new beginning for yourself. This is what you asked for. There may also be something about, even though you know this past situation doesn't serve you, there's anxiety around letting go of it because it's comfortable, it's familiar, it's something that you don't know how to be without, or it's become a habit. It feels uncomfortable to sit in the unknown, but it's like, know that whatever's waiting for you is better than what's left. There is somebody that's emotionally available coming in. This feels like a fresh energy, somebody you haven't met before, but it's going to mean you setting boundaries with the things that cause anxiety. You've already been shown what these things are, people, places, or things. For some of you, it is a relationship. It's like, open your heart. Open your heart to these changes. Replacing fear with love. Know that you're protected. If you're moving on from a situation, for some of you, it's not going to be for all of you, but if there is some kind of abusive situation, it's like, open your heart and know that you can move forward and you will be protected. That certain things are out of our control. Just by you holding the intention that you're safe and that you're moving forward, you're cutting cords, you will be looked after. Once you stop entertaining this energy exchange. I get that's easier said, but it's like, believe. A lot of the times when it comes to relationships, especially if it's that kind of relationship where it's serious like that and you want to leave, it's like, am we going there? Yeah. This could be for, like, this isn't going to be for all of you, but it's coming up. So if you're in a relationship where you want to leave and it's like, while you've been in that relationship, you haven't been able to leave because you've been held down in some way. There's always a chance, or there is a chance, that there's some subconscious want to stay. It's like, a lot of the time, especially in abusive situations, it's more comfortable to be in the abuse that we're used to than it is to move away into the unknown, just because the brain likes what it knows. It's like, if it's expecting to receive some kind of abuse at a certain time, or some kind of being treated a certain way at a certain time, it's like the body feels more comfortable to be on time for that than to step out of that. So sometimes it's not a case of, we think, oh, we don't know how to get out of this situation. We don't know how to move away from the situation safely. But it's like, understand that chemically, emotionally, you're attached to certain individuals. And in order to step away from that, you have to be at a place where it's like, you actually want to leave. And sometimes that comes when things get too bad, where it's like you feel like you're really pushed to have no choice. But it's like understanding there's always a choice. And it's like choosing to be willing to go through that uncomfortable feeling of the unknown to end some kind of cycle. And just by having that, like, voicing it, praying on it, and not praying on it in terms of, I just really want to get out of this. It's like having that knowing that a way's coming up for you to leave, that you're going to leave at this time, and you're just going to end up being protected, that things are going to come up. Moving in that place of love. It's like, know that you're leaving this situation now and you're protected as you do so. Again, that's easier said. But it's like, even just practicing that, if you're not ready to take that leap in real time. It's like, if somebody is like you kind of fuel this cycle with a reaction. So it's like the first thing and the only thing you really can control is the way you respond. If somebody's coming at you and you're sending energy back their way, you're fueling that. If somebody's trying to get you to move erratic or trying to upset you and you give them that power, you're fueling that. It's like, make a choice for yourself what you want. Realize that even if somebody's energy is attached to you, that you can choose to be aware that as much as it feels like you're merged together, that you're not, that you're separate from them, you're your own individual. And if you want to have a new beginning, that it's available to you just by having that belief and that trust. Follow your first instincts. It's like, you know what to do. Falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience, romantic, captivating, dramatic, flirtatious, falling on the King of Cups and the Justice card and the World. It feels like, yeah, and the Three of Wands, it's like, once something's been closed out, it feels like something you have not really, it feels like something you're attached to, not something you genuinely have love for. Maybe you've convinced yourself there's love there, but it feels like attachment, bondage. Doesn't feel like unconditional love. And it's like, as you move out of this, or these, you detach from this, if this is something you've already left, it's like there is new love here. Something that makes you feel, it feels very safe. It feels very, very comforting. But I feel like it's going to be overwhelming because it's so different, so contrasting to what you're used to. It's like there's long-term stability here. This person's very kind, very generous. But it feels so peaceful that it could even, that thing of being chemically addicted to the stress, chemically addicted to certain situations, it's like you're going to have to walk yourself through that. Be kind to yourself as you transmute past emotions, process what you need to, create space for this, know that you deserve it, that you don't owe anyone an explanation. And it's like really having that knowing that it's here. It is going to mean setting boundaries with something. Wishes come true, dreams fulfilled, a magical time of life. I'm going to leave it there, but if this did resonate, like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you soon. Sending so much love.